Today, we will tell you a story about a man who broke the law and crossed the line of morality. This is a story about a criminal whose actions have left an indelible mark on the lives of many people. We will try to understand what led him to this path and what consequences his actions had. We do not condone crimes, but we want to understand the motives and circumstances that prompted a person to commit such cruel crimes. In this video, we will look at the criminal's case, analyze his actions, and try to answer the question, why was all this done? We hope that our video will help viewers better understand what consequences illegal actions can have and how important it is to comply with the law. For 12 years, law enforcement officers have been trying to track down the most wanted maniac, Valery Andreev. In the media, he is called the most dangerous maniac. Trucker from Orsk operated from 2006 to 2012 on highways, stops and intersections. According to investigators, he first raped the victims, then killed them, and hid the bodies in the forest. Girls and women between the ages of 17 and 40 became dead at the hands of a serial killer. Andreev was accused in absentia of 8 murders, but it is assumed that the number of victims can reach up to 100 people. In the year 2012, the Orsk maniac was put on the federal wanted list, and 7 years later, on the international wanted list. However, so far the serial killer has not been found. Today, we have to find out where the most wanted maniac may be hiding, in which Russian cities has he already appeared, and why did the investigators release Andreev after the arrest in 2012. Since 2000, young girls have been disappearing en masse in the Orenburg region. Many of those who are missing were hitchhiking along the route where Valery, a trucker from Orsk, usually carried goods. Andreev, Orenburg, Samara, Chelyabinsk regions, Bashkiria. The stories are the same. The girls waited for transport at a bus stop or hitched a ride on the side of the road and then disappeared. The first to find a certain ale in December 2009, the girl was returning from school in a neighboring village. Since there was no transport between the villages, she got into a passing car and then disappeared without a trace. Eli's body was found 6 months later in one of the reservoirs near the village of Kamenuzerno. The results of the examination showed that the schoolgirl was raped before her death. After this incident, the operatives found the remains of other girls, as a result of which they came to the conclusion that all these corpses were the work of one person. However, at that time, the investigators had no leads. Everything changed in the year 2012, when another girl disappeared. Olia. She went to visit late in the summer evening, but missed the bus. "I'll hitch a ride now and come. Don't worry, I'll be there in 20 minutes. The girl told her friend on the phone. Soon Olia's phone became unavailable, and the family immediately contacted the police. Local residents told law enforcement that they saw a schoolgirl getting into a white Sangyong SUV at a bus stop. The car of this model was listed in the region only for 2 people, one of whom is 55-year-old trucker Valery Andreev. Operatives found out that the man lives in Orsk with his family, brings up 2 children. Neighbors and acquaintances spoke of him as a decent and kind man. For about 15 years, the man worked as a truck driver and during that time received only a few fines. He was not prosecuted and did not come to the attention of the police. However, the details of the calls showed that the phone Andreev was in the same place as the phone of the missing Olia. After that, the police detained him. During the interrogation, Valery denied everything, and since the operatives had no other evidence, the man was released. It was only a few days later that Andreev was decided to check again. Law enforcement officers found washed out bloodstains and a blanket in his car, and bloody hammers, knives, and fishing line in the garage. However, they did not have time to detain the trucker. The suspect disappeared on the 6th of July, 2012 year. The remains of the missing Olia were found in September 2013 in a forest belt near the Orsk, Chelyabinsk highway, near the village Janatolup. The examination revealed the genetic traces of the car owner and the girl. In addition, the examination found that the perpetrator committed at least 7 similar crimes. It turned out that at first he raped his victims, then killed them, and hid the bodies in the forest near the Orenburg, Chelyabinsk, Samara, Orenburg Road, in Orsk and in the settlements of the Orenburg region. In 2012, Valery Andreev was accused in absentia of 8 murders and declared the federal wanted list. Then the trucker was dubbed the Orsk maniac. At the same time, it was noted that there could be many more dead. According to some reports, he could have killed hundreds of victims. In 2019, Andreev topped the list of the most wanted maniacs, the International Criminal Police Organization Interpol. So in what places could the Orsk maniac appear? In the year 2017, a tip came from Kazakhstan. A young couple was hitchhiking around the country and stayed in one of the cities. It was already late at night, so they had to hitch a ride. A gray-haired man driving a green passenger car stopped. Along the way, the driver asked passengers about their lives, relatives, how they ended up away from the city and whether there were acquaintances nearby, and also constantly looked at the girl. The driver behaved strangely. He talked aggressively and was nervous. Moreover, in the middle of the road he suddenly announced that he wanted to go fishing, stopped in the forest belt area and invited the girl to join him. The fellow travelers became suspicious and stayed on the road. The fishing lasted about 5 minutes. Then the driver, angry, returned to the car. When the young people moved into a rented room, they saw an orientation in the local media. The man on it looked very much like the driver. In March 2021, information appeared on the network that the alleged criminal was seen on an electric train traveling from Moscow to Dresden. According to eyewitnesses, he allegedly got off at the Kukino station. Some media reported that the man was seen in Odintsovo district. A student told about a meeting with a strange man in the Moscow region. I was returning from the university about 5 in the evening. Took the 33rd bus. A man sat down opposite me. He stared intently at first. He was wearing clothes, as if he hadn't changed them for a couple of days or a week. He was heading to the city of Odintsovo. The girl said according to her, the man suddenly began to smile. He asked, "Can you come with me to the end?" I said that I would go out where I planned. The student said. The girl noted that at that time she knew nothing about the maniac. But later I saw a photo of the wanted criminal and realized that, most likely, that passenger from the bus was the Orsk maniac. In August of the same year, the head of the main department of criminology reported that the investigation had no confirmation that the Orsk maniac Valery Andreev was seen in Moscow and the region. The most wanted criminal could be seen in Samara, Novosibirsk and Karelia. With the descriptions and eyewitness accounts match, the man behaves strangely and shows unmotivated aggression towards others. The investigative committee does not exclude that the Orsky maniac may be hiding abroad. According to investigators, he could have crossed the border using forged documents. So, a resident of France said that she saw a man who looked like Valery Andreev at the office for migrants in Sop-Valerwan. According to her, he introduced himself as Vladimir and said that he wanted to obtain a residence permit in France, and also asked for the translation of documents. One of the last tips came from the island of Cuba in December of the year. There, a man who looked like an Orsk maniac was noticed by at least 2 people. One of them saw the potential killer at the hotel, and the other at the migration center when he applied for citizenship. The orientation towards Valery Andreev is constantly being updated. Investigators, they warn that over the years a man could change, gain weight or lose weight, dye his hair, grow a beard and mustache. This is the end of this criminal story. It's not clear now whether it poses a threat to society, the Orsk maniac. After all, he has not yet been found. This is far from the only person who has violated the line of the law who remains at large. After being put on the wanted list, Valery Andreev's trial, it remains unknown.